Zimbabwe cash crisis worse.
Talking about Venezuela once again.
Systemic important banks. They removed the 1,000 thing on there called monetary awareness. Hey there, hope all is well. Back at you today with some more RT News updates. And today we're going to be talking about what's happening down in Venezuela, but more so I'm going to share with you some headlines on what's happening from different news sources from North and South America. But before I dive into today's articles, as always, if you're new to RTD, I want to encourage you to click the subscribe button as well as that notification tab to be notified of future updates as well as live streams is coming. And also, if you have not, I want to encourage you to follow me over on steemit.com/RTD, where I share articles on matters such as this throughout the day. And then also, if you're new to RTD altogether, I want to encourage you to visit the RTD University page, where I put together all my prior interviews dealing with monetary matters as well as the importance of holding precious metals in your possession. So, as always, I want to share with you these articles here, but more importantly, you can scroll down below to read them for yourself. Just want to scan through the surface and give you something to think about, especially what's happening within Venezuela right now. I think it's well worth noting and keeping an eye on because it is a humanitarian crisis / a government dictatorship and all the things in between. So, very first one here says, U.S. sanctions prompt more interest in Petro. That's the latest claim from Venezuela. So as I scroll through here, give you an idea what's going on here, as you're all aware of, President Trump made an executive order stating that citizens within the country could not purchase the Petro coin. And according to this source here, it's reported that within Venezuela, Maduro saying that those sanctions actually helped out the sales of the Petro. So I'll share with you a little bit what's going on here. But it says Trump helps Petro. Pena, who's Venezuela's executive secretary of Blockchain Observatory, reportedly told the newspaper that President Trump's ban on Americans being able to buy the Venezuelan token has turned out to be free publicity. He even boasted that the ban has helped to double the number of investors who are interested in buying the crypto, which is backed by the country's oil reserves, according to the media outlet. And so here it says questionable claims. And of course, a lot of the numbers are not really adding up according to the amount of tokens sold, as well as the total number of tokens sold during the ICO launch. So more information if you're interested in reading for yourself. Next one here is from HavanaTimes.org, and it says 16 countries issued declaration on Venezuela. And so as of this past weekend, there's the 8th summit down in Peru. And so there are 16 countries that all came together to say that it's time to make some changes within Venezuela. And so here, give you an idea what's going on here. It says 16 countries of the Americas meeting in Lima in the framework of the 8th Summit of Americas on Saturday issued the declaration of Venezuela to make an urgent call to the Venezuelan government so that its elections are carried out through a free, fair, and transparent process. Says the statement was issued by the heads of state of Argentina, Bahamas, Brazil, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Guyana, Honduras, Mexico, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, St. Lucia, and Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence. So you scroll down a little bit more. It says Maduro says that the summit was a total failure. And this is reported in Havana Times. It says, quote Maduro, everyone who messes with Venezuela gets theirs. They tried to exclude us from the summit, and what they did was fail. The summit has been a total failure, he said in a speech after a march on Saturday against imperialism in Caracas. So, more information there if you want to read that for yourself. Next one here is more on the summit. It says the Lima Group and the U.S. will not recognize Venezuela May 20 elections. So that same group of countries I named, all the representatives right here, these statements here seem to be guidelines that these countries have agreed upon in order to recognize, consider the election that's being held May 20th and down in Venezuela. So if you're interested, you can read some of these 7 statements for yourself. Very next one here is from Tech News Insight. It says United States pledges additional $16 million to help Venezuelan exiles. And so scroll through here, talks about Vice President Pence was in Lima. It says Pence said as he met several Venezuelan opposition figures on Friday that more sanctions could be forthcoming. Says Pence is in Lima for a worldwide summit. Says Vice President Pence, who was filling in for Trump, spent part of the summit trying to drum up support for further isolating Venezuela, which faces mounting U.S. sanctions. So not only is Venezuela under heavy sanctions now, the idea that Vice President Pence hinted at the idea that there may be more sanctions on the way. Next one here is from the Gold Telegraph. It says Venezuela, home of gold and famine. And so here it talks about a certain district in the southeast part of the country here called El Cayo. And it talks about how this area here is really rich in gold and has been recently taken under control by the military there with the idea of extracting more gold. So it said approximately 8,000 tons of gold were extracted as of last year. And so over the last couple of years or so, they've been getting more gold out of the ground there. So I guess this area here is a complete hellhole, according to this article here. And so it's just real sad to see that this area here is labeled the most dangerous city in the country.
It's the next recession.
Recession will be.
Will be a recession.
We're going to hit a recession.
The date of the next recession.
A U.S.-only recession typically lasts 8 to 10 months, but a lot of things about this particular one have not been typical. So
A crash is coming. Now, whether it's 6 months from now, 12 months, 36 months, no one knows.
I go to bed every night, I dream of another recession. If you know what to do, if you have the right plan to set up, you can make a lot of money from this.
Next one here says how Venezuela has resorted to importing oil as its core industry faces collapse. And so a lot of times you think about how rich Venezuela is as a country when it comes to oil, but apparently their oil here is so heavy, it's like a heavy crude. They typically use dilutants to make the oil a lot lighter, but apparently they're running out of that as well. So it looks like they're importing a lot of oil, but yet because the gasoline price is so cheap in that country, it's basically an equivalent of giving it away free. So to give you an idea what's going on here, it says the long queues for food and medicine in Venezuela are now well documented, but lines of cars waiting outside petrol stations, something that would have been unthinkable a few years ago when petrol cost 1 cent per liter, are becoming more common. Says they have to import for two reasons. One is the collapse of the refining infrastructure, and the other is that the oil is naturally heavy, so they need to import dilutants to blend with their oil to re-export it. Says one of the craziest things is the part of Venezuela's imports is for the domestic market, but given its price, they practically give gasoline away for free. They are importing barrels that cost $80 to $90 and selling them for $0. So more information there if you're interested in reading for yourself. Very last article here says Maduro still insists that the Petro will save Venezuela from the gringos. So as of always, here he's trying his best to hold on to his role as president there. And so here he's talking about it will be a gringo colony. Venezuela will never be a gringo colony as long as it lives, the incumbent president said when speaking about his rival plans. So it says President Maduro's Petro doesn't appear, at least from the outside, to have benefited the country directly, despite his insistence that the ICO backing up the currency made $5 billion in its initial sale. So as always, and as I mentioned earlier, the numbers are very skeptical, but this is what's happening in the mainstream news. I thought I would share this with you guys, give you something to think about with regards to what's happening in Venezuela. And as always, the issue there is going to get worse. There's no real solution there as long as President Maduro is in power. And the situation there, according to what we're told from these main sources here, lets us know that things are very dire for a lot of people down there, as well as the idea that the military now is getting involved as they look to take control of the gold mines there. Then we have everything about the Petro. Whether that information is true or not, who knows? The idea that the government is utilizing the blockchain to benefit itself, we'll see if that works. Then you have the idea of more sanctions coming. And then the idea that a country is rich in oil is having problems there because the oil is too heavy. So now they're having to import oil in order to sell it to their people there domestically for free. So that's just more of what's happening in the news in regards to Venezuela. I thought I would take a minute to share with you guys. Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts there, as well as if you come across any other news that might be worth reporting. I would love to share that on the channel. So other than that, look forward to seeing you guys later. Enjoy your day.